Well, you guys see me here, so that obviously means I'm up to no good. I don't know. Hope you guys are doing well. Thank you for joining me here. I wanted to give you guys my take and my review. On July 3rd of this year, it'll be 1 year since I purchased the Buggy, the CF Moto 2024 model of the ZForce 950 Sport 4. That's kind of a tongue twister, so I was trying to slow it down for you guys. So I just want to go over some things with you guys, let you know my take, my personal take and feelings on the actual CF Moto. I love the fact that it was a four-seater. It did come standard with a roof. It had a winch, and it came standard with 27-inch tires, okay? My take on the Buggy itself, okay? I've been very well pleased with it. So I've put over 160 some miles on it. It's almost broke in. They consider break-in point at 200 miles. I went ahead and changed the oil and made sure all my fluids and everything else was good. My overall take on the Buggy itself, I love it. I love it. I've had it up to a top speed of about 74 or 75 miles an hour. And that's on a straight stretch of road. It does come with stag tires, which is the 27-inch tires. I feel that they're okay. They're really soft. They're a soft tire. So they're good for gripping and maybe a little bit of rock climbing, but you don't have a lot of height. So that is part of the problem with the 27-inch stock tires. I wish for the money they would have went ahead and installed the stereo system. They did make an aftermarket stereo system just specifically for the CF Moto, in which you guys will see pictures and installation and a video right after this. But yeah, it's been a great Buggy thus far. And I'm hoping that I will get to enjoy it years to come. So the good part about this Buggy in particular, you guys may have noticed on other Buggies or side-by-side machines where the seal on the doors, okay? I know that's a big key factor to a lot of people who like to go in and wade in some water, okay? These seals go all the way up to the almost where your bars are on the actual Buggy. So it's really nice. Granted, it does have floor drains. So if you're in really super high water, you're going to get some water coming up through those floor drains. It doesn't come with any plugs. A lot of your other Buggies, such as Polaris, Can-Am, have removable plugs in the floor drains. The CF Moto does not have that. They're constantly open. So if you're going to take this thing in high water, and I would recommend in not doing that. And the reason why I say that is because upon discovery of replacing the clutch, and I went with a stage 3 trail clutch and purchased that through Team MSC, I discovered that when you take the cover off to the actual clutch assembly that you have to get to, there's a vent, which is a rubber hose, and it's kind of like cut off. So your vent literally is, I know you guys can't really tell, but it kind of stands up off of your cover by about 6 to 7 inches or so. It kind of just makes a curl or a bend over. Okay, it's totally open. So what that means is if you're going into any deep water whatsoever, that water is going to get into your clutch or mud or anything in particular. Dust. I know it does have an air intake in the back of the clutch, which allows it to stay dry. And that's all fine and dandy. But you cannot take this Buggy unless you're going to put a big, huge lift kit on this thing and big monster tires, which by all means, you can't go any bigger than 32 inches on this Buggy. What you're about to see is some of the details of the Buggy, but you're also going to see content as far as the upgrades go, everything that was done to the Buggy. So altogether, this Buggy costs $22,000 stock. Okay, that's out the door, $22,000 stock. And again, that comes with a roof. Did not come with a windshield. It comes with a winch. And I believe that's rated for 1,500 pounds, maybe 3,000 pounds, something like that. Don't quote me on that. It is a synthetic winch, which is nice. So synthetic rope. It does come with a cargo carry in the back, which is a trunk, I like to call. So it does have an enclosed trunk, which is waterproof to a certain extent. Again, you're going to have a little bit of water coming in. So if you're going to keep tools or anything like that in the back, and you have that actual trunk space, I'd recommend in getting a toolbox that is also waterproof that you can just set in there and keep secure at all times. Otherwise, I can definitely see your tools will rust over time. All right, let's go ahead and get into, I put together a slideshow so you guys can actually see what all I have done to the Buggy. So altogether, I would say I put in probably not only man-hour times, I've got about $2,600 to $2,700 just in the stereo equipment, the back mesh windshield, the front windshield. Trying to think what else. The whips. Now the tires alone, I just upgraded to Rockzillas. These are 32-inch tires, and the tires alone cost me $1,200. That was them installing that, which was $25 a piece per tire, and right out the door, $1,200, almost $1,300. Okay, but these Rockzillas are a heavy-duty tire, very heavy. You can definitely feel a difference in your steering, but they are guaranteed to last a long time as long as you're careful with them. You also have to upgrade if you're going with a bigger size tire than the 27-inch stock tires. You have to upgrade your clutch. Okay, so that's the reason why I did the clutch, and I went with Team MSC clutch, and that is installed already on the Buggy. All right, so let's get to the pictures. All right, shall we? Here we go. I'm just going to kind of talk about these as we go here. So here you can see the whip that I installed. This was after the installation. This was a little bit tricky, and the reason why I say that, don't mind the mess there on the back. I promise you I got it all cleaned up. This was a little tricky because, as you can see, I got the mesh back windshield there, so which I did purchase from 3-Star Industries. So thank you guys. It gave me a great solution to keeping the mud out of the back. Also gives a little shade to any people that are riding in the back as well. So the biggest thing that I noticed with the 27-inch tires was the simple fact that the mud was kicking up from the back tires. Not a big deal, but if your passengers riding in the back don't want to be covered in mud, this is a good solution for that. So, all right, so that's what you see there. Next is the amplifier installation. So this was also a little tricky. So when it comes to the amp this is the MB Court system. This is a radio system they specifically made for the ZForce here. So they want you to really lay the amplifier down. So this was during the installation process. I promise the wires are a lot more cleaned up now than what you see here, but this was during the process. My thought process was, if I put it down all the way down to the very bottom that you see there, the bottom of the glove box itself, if anything is stacked on top of that, okay, amplifiers draw heat, right? I didn't want anything to happen to the amplifier, such as overheating or anything like that. So basically, I decided to put it on the side wall, which is the back wall in particular. And as you see on the side of the glove box, that's an additional USB. So one is for the phone that goes directly into your radio, and that's where you can connect your Google Maps and any type of other mapping that you have to your actual stereo, okay? And then one below that is also USB, but it's just for charging. This is the start of the process for installing that radio that you see there. So all the wires that you have coming out of the back of the radio are things that you're going to connect later on. So that would be the speakers. It does come with 2 camera hookups, which I may look into later on down the road. You can do a front camera and also a rear camera. You can have 2 cameras installed onto that, all right? And you can actually choose, everything is touch screen on the actual stereo itself, so you can choose which camera you need to view in. Any additional ones, you'll see the USBs that are in the glove box, which is off to the right there. And there's a subwoofer connection, so you can connect the subwoofer later on down the road if you choose to. All right, just another look at the stereo. Again, it's not quite mounted in there, but getting closer. So this would be the passenger side front speaker. As you can see, it says MB Court right on it. So it basically goes right up above the foot rest there on the right side. And it actually is fitted just right. So it requires 2 holes to be drilled into your fender wall, basically. So it goes into your fender and is a really tight sealed speaker. So I was definitely impressed not only by the sound once I got everything hooked up here, but I was definitely impressed with how everything came together as far as the fit. It fits so perfectly right there around the hump and everything of your fender. So next should be the driver's side. And I kind of just did that across the way, so you can kind of see we did have to take out the center there that you see missing and all the wiring down through the middle. So that's basically how we ran the wire down. So all we did was take the amplifier wire to the stereo. We ran it down the center. Once we pulled out the center, again, I apologize for it being so filthy and nasty. This is before I actually did a nice deep clean of it. So, but once we took out the center console, we ran all the wires from the amplifier straight back to the battery, which was behind the back seats. Okay, so that's just the side. Again, it's the same thing. That speaker on the driver's side there fit perfectly right over the fender wall. Again, you had to drill 2 holes and then run your wire up to the stereo and then just do a quick connect there. So here's the install of the antenna that you see. Again, you can see the front part of the hood and exposing the bus bar there. Did not run any of the radio to the bus bar, but this is just a sample and a picture of the antenna, how the antenna installation goes. Again, requires a couple holes, one of them larger so the antenna fits, and another one just to keep the antenna secured, and it's just a smaller hole. So next, my buddy and I, we decided to, I had already purchased, I can't remember the company I purchased it from, but I was very disappointed in this product. So the black box that you see there basically was a speaker holder, okay? They guaranteed that it was going to fit this Buggy. However, discovered it does not fit. As you can see, it's smaller. So what we decided to do was come up with some diamond plating, and that was all my idea, because I was just like, hey, let's just get some diamond plating, aluminum, something that's not going to rust, and we'll just mount that speaker mount to there. So my buddy donated me those 2 speakers, and I didn't have to worry about spending another $400 for rear speakers, which the 4 speakers altogether would have cost me for the whole entire system over $1,600. Actually about $1,700. And to me, that's just crazy. It's outrageous. I understand that everything is, weatherproof and water sealed, but I didn't want to spend that because I knew I was going to go with that back mesh windshield. So the rear speakers would actually go up in that corner and mount there. And with me having that back mesh on, it wasn't going to work right. I decided to come up with this idea. I was just like, well, I already purchased the box for the speakers. My buddy was donating additional outside speakers. I was like, well, hey, let's just do this. So we came up with this idea. It looks great. It worked great. Ran the wires all the way back. And yeah, and then it just came up through the center and then straight up to the stereo itself. And again, just another shot. So this kind of shows you how we ran the speaker wire. The speaker wire was definitely not long enough. As you can kind of see right by the bar there, the roll bar, towards the back, you'll see a couple nuts there. That's basically where the connection ended. So we ended up doing a secure connection. We ran additional wiring up to those speakers and then just put it in the channel of the roof there and then ran it over. So just another shot of that. Here is the stereo. We tested it out just to make sure that we had power. Everything was working fine, fantastic, great. It's, of course, not back together totally just yet. Here's where we have everything finally mounted. The back cover is on it, and everything is secured. Just another shot. As you can see, this fits perfectly right on top of your dash. Had no issues with that, and getting the cover was a little tricky to get on and snap into place, but once figured that out, went right in just like a glove. All right, this is a shot of the 27-inch tires getting ready to come off. These are the 27-inch stock tires. Little small for me, little small. So this is after the Buggy has been cleaned up with SC1 spray. So after I power washed it, they make a spray, which is great for plastics, called SC1. Highly recommend it if you guys have never used it before. It really cleans that plastic right up. The nice part about it is when you go through any type of mud whatsoever, it washes off so much easier. You can pretty much spray that SC1 on anything. I would not recommend using it on your floorboard by any means because it will be really slick. It's kind of like a polish. So if you guys have ever used any type of polish on furniture, you know how slick that can actually be. And that's the case here for the plastic. And that again is called SC1. Highly recommend. So here we're getting ready to take off those 27-inch tires and just a shot of the back and the whips and what it looks like. And here you go. So here's the Rockzilla 32s on it that were just installed yesterday. Again, this was after the clutch work had been done. So I give you guys just a few different angles here so you can kind of get a take of everything. Just a front shot of what they look like. They don't look that wide. They are 10 by 14 by 32s. And just, again, another shot of the back showing the whips. You guys are about to see a video, really exciting video. I'm kind of just going over the Buggy a little bit with everything on and working. I turned the Buggy actually on so you guys can hear it, hear what the exhaust sounds like. Yeah, so there we go. Let's get started into that video, all right? I'll see you guys there. All right, everybody, the moment you've been waiting for. The 2024 ZForce 950 Sport 4 is the new LED light my buddy and I put on. Ran that up to the bus bar right in there. Got new 32-inch Rockzilla tires all the way around. New mirrors. I know you guys have seen pictures. Here's the new radio. I'll show you guys the inside in just a minute. Of course, I already had the mirror. There's the controller for the whip. Speakers, front speakers. And then my buddy and I did the custom made this for the back speakers. Take you around the back side there. So we did that's a new stage 3 trail clutch inside of there. Just got the cover back on. Runs good. We had some issues with the clutch. There's the new whips. And got the mesh screen that you see right here. Gives a little shade and keeps mud out of the cab area. Of course, the exhaust. Did get it all cleaned up. Sorry, it's a little windy out here. A lot of traffic driving by too right now, so we'll fire this thing up. Let you guys hear the sound of the CF Moto. Of course, I already had the flip-up windshield, so you could go open it just slightly or go all the way open with this. As you guys can see, it got 165 miles on it. There's the new radio. Here's where we installed the new rocker switches. Some LED lights, the whips right there. We'll go ahead and turn those on. I'll get back out of the Buggy here. Got nice sealed doors. Definitely keeps the water out. They seal up really far, as you guys can kind of see. Right there is where it actually stops. LED headlights. The new LED cube lights. Sorry guys, that wind is brutal. There's the new whips. And my buddy, he's doing a little spit and shine on the tires. So these will actually work, these whips will work to your audio and music, so that's pretty much what they're programmed to right now, but you can change it to any color you want. Let you guys listen to the exhaust here. All right, there you go.